Today is perhaps the starkest example of President Trump using tariffs and sanctions as a way to quickly flex U.S. economic might and muscle. He did so by slapping 50% tariffs on steel made in Turkey. His punching had revealed a new chink in the armor when it comes to taking countries on. It slams their currencies almost immediately. At this hour, it's the Turkish lira, which, while that's a 3-month picture, if you look at what it's doing today, it has gotten hammered and is at an all-time low against the greenback. Yesterday, the Russian ruble sank to its lowest level since June of 2016 after the State Department announced during the show new sanctions on Russia as punishment for the attempted murder by poisoning of a former Russian spy, Sergei Skripal, and his daughter, who were living in the United Kingdom. Joining us now to discuss the senior fellow at the Peterson Institute, Chad Bown. And Chad was also senior economist for international trade under President Obama. Here to give us, I guess, Chad, an insider's perspective of what appears at the moment to at least be action-reaction with these 50% tariffs announced this morning, revealed by the president on Turkish steel. What do you think is going on here?
Well, I think the initial action by the Trump administration here is a little bit of concern about the depreciation of the Turkish lira, the Turkish steel and aluminum coming into the United States now more cheaply than before, and President Trump reacting to that by just simply imposing higher tariffs. I think the big concern in a moment like this is really unlike how presidents and global leaders normally act. Normally, when you have a country like Turkey that's a pretty big economy out there in the world that's going through a potential crisis, you have other leaders around the world trying to reassure markets, trying to say that, hey, if this spins out of control, we will step in to help. That's not what President Trump is doing here. President Trump is doubling down and saying we're going to actually increase the tariffs, which may make life even worse for you there in Turkey.
But let me bring in the sort of human rights situation that's going on. This pastor, the American pastor who got swept up in the mass arrests after President Erdogan decided that he was certainly going to punish just about everybody he thought without trial who had helped attempt this coup, which was failed 2 years ago. If he punishes Turkey economically, and it hurts them so much, and I can't imagine how it's not killing them right now, and they release this pastor, he certainly gets a faster response than the administration previous when it came to Otto Warmbier, that student who was stuck in North Korea for a couple of years and then ended up dead just as he stepped back onto U.S. land.
So perhaps. I think that the challenging element, though, of President Trump using trade policy in all of these different areas is we've never actually seen President Trump take off tariffs. We've seen him put tariffs on numerous occasions, but we haven't actually ever seen him take these things off. And so this issue, not to just, to minimize the importance of the human rights issue that's at stake here, but this thing could be resolved. Even the currency issue could be resolved over the next few days and it get back to its normal levels. But then the tariffs are still going to be there. We haven't actually seen, when it comes to trade policy, President Trump actually following through with removing trade barriers like he has said sometimes that he would do.
Right. I do know that South Korea snapped to it and struck an almost immediate deal. So they are not subject to some of these metals tariffs.